Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Back for part 2 of practice for Season 5, Round 1 of the MRC Championship from Bahrain International Circuit. Again, you've got myself, Night Shadow, otherwise known as Gav Jenkins, and we've got BitW365, otherwise known as Carl Edens, for commentary. So we've done 30 minutes of practice. We are now on to 18 minutes of qualifying, which will set the grid for the practice race, which will be coming up after this. So we will be keeping an eye on everybody. We've done a bit of introductions for a couple of the drivers taking part tonight, but you might be wondering, who are these amazingly sounding voices that are in the commentary box? And we will tell you all for this. So, Mr. Edens, I'm going to hand over to you to give a bit of background on yourself first, whilst I share the links in the Discord.
Yeah, well, as you know, my PSN is BITW365, and as you've heard Gav say, my name is Carl Edens. I've been into Formula One since the 98 season. My first memories were obviously that horrendous start at Spa in the rain. Good start on that one. Drivers that I've really been into over the years, obviously main one is the in my opinion the king of Formula One, which was Michael Schumacher. I do say yes, I do agree that when it comes to records, Hamilton is up there. People call him the GOAT, but I say on the matter is, at the end of the day, you cannot really compare all the drivers because they're all from different eras. But anyway, back to myself. Drivers that I've liked are obviously Michael Schumacher. If you follow the league, I'm a big fan of Vettel, and I have got the full Vettel setup with the helmet design, and also being in Aston Martin. It's my second season with Aston Martin, actually. I've been part of the MRC since the early days of Season 1. I joined in December of 2020. Over 30 odd races under my belt for the league. And 100% attendance on that. I still brag about it.
I was waiting for that one. I was waiting for that.
Obviously with the league, my highest points, I've got 2 highest points with the league. It was getting driver of the day for a race in Spa last season, and my highest finished position was Hungary of last season as well, which was second.
It was a wet race, Carl, wasn't it? It was probably the start of a run of about 3 wet races in Tier 3.
Yes, and if you watch earlier races as well, especially the wet ones, you'll find out that a lot of the people have said that I'm one of the dark horses when it comes to the wet races because of how comfortable I am in the wet compared to the dry. And if you notice by my Discord name, I have been dubbed Mr. Defense because everybody says I am not the best, but one of the best defenders they've come across in this tier. I don't think you've had the privilege to be on the other end of it.
I've not. I did do a couple of Tier 3 races last year, but not. I don't think I came across you on track. Which is probably good from my side.
But from what people have said, I am one of the best defenders they've come across. I mean, Mark said it, Alex has said it, and near enough everyone said it. But enough about me.
We'll come back to me. We'll come back to me shortly. Only on the basis that we're gonna. I don't know how I can even follow that, to be perfectly honest. We were on board whilst you were talking with G Star Snipes and that white Red Bull. Just watching his times, we did catch a tail end of a couple of the laps. So we're at the moment we've got Ijone in the Alfa Romeo on a 127.5. We had a slight yellow flag there just at the top of the hill. We're on board with Red Car Rambo in the Alpine at the present moment in time, just coming down into that turn 4. And
I think Madman's probably got some connection issues because he's just left the session.
Yeah, as unfortunately we do sometimes see it. Unfortunately, so we've got the graphics up on screen showing you gears. We've got the map there so we can see. So we're going to jump on board to. We've been on board with Rob. He'll think we're favouring him, Carl, if we jump on board with him again.
I think we all have our favourites in each tier. To be honest, we all have his favourites.
Exactly. So we're going to we'll jump on board.
But as commentators, we can't be biased.
No, exactly. We'll jump on board with the Manugio. He'll probably tell us wrong, but as he comes over the start-finish straight, he's coming to the end of his lap, and you see that 20% of ERS. So coming down into turn 1, the Michael Schumacher turn, very much the prime overtaking opportunity, very tight. And then we can see, obviously, running up here into turn 4, turns 2 and 3, we've just passed a flat out. And again, very good DRS zone. And then as we're coming now out of turn 4, run a little bit wide, make sure not hit track limits, turns 5, 6 and 7, very much right, sort of left, right, left S section there. And then we've got this right-hand hairpin, otherwise known as turn 8. There's a bit of a bump there. Turn 9 and 10, very, very technical, because you can again quite easily lock up the front left. We can see there that we're on board, no locking up there, which is good. We've got the back straight now, another DRS zone. Again, lots of time to be made there. Maybe not the overtaking opportunity to the first 2 DRS zones are, but certainly coming now into turn 11. And then into turns 12 and 13, a bit of a medium speed complex around about 170 miles an hour that we can see her braking down there to around about 80, clipping the curb on the inside, now down the back straight, keep the speed. DRS detection line is just coming up, so just under the Rolex bridge there is the DRS detection zone into that final corner turn 15, and then flat out as we come across the line shortly. DRS activation, he's across the line there and goes into 6th place, 128.8, 7/10 of a second quicker than he was. We've got a couple of drivers, Carl. Literally a couple of drivers. We've got Guy here in the Ferrari that we're just jumping on board with on the mediums. So.
Yeah, I'm following Ofach on his first flying lap on a set of mediums at the moment.
Yeah, as we've kind of talked about, we're just keeping an eye. I think we've got the 2. Have we got any McLarens coming out? No, we don't at the moment. Red car in the Alpine there. We've got Gibb and Rob there on his outlap, 144.4 at the present moment in time. So again, the driver's going to be just getting an idea. So far everybody's went for the soft. So everybody's thinking. In the practice session, the race is only 25% as opposed to the 50% that we ultimately race with. So it probably will be more of a one-stopper from that perspective. We're just watching just now Gibb in the Ferrari. Coming down into turn 1 again, he's on the soft compound. So really, I think everybody, Carl, trying to get an idea on how long those soft compound tyres are actually going to last when it comes to the race.
Yeah, because there's quite a few people out there that have either set a lap time with that's at least on softs that are 2 laps old. I mean, I'm very impressed by Ofach's 128.7 on the mediums that he set a moment ago. But like you say, there's majority of the people are seem to be focusing on those soft tyres.
Yeah, we just jumped on board, or we just started to watch Grimo there in the Mercedes. He had a spin at turn 1, which was our previous yellow.
But just want to briefly say as well, practice sessions, we do have damage turned off, so it allows drivers to work on their setups and not have to worry about going in and out the pits to repair the cars. So it's like just a safety precaution for our practice sessions.
Yeah, no, definitely. We're just and that's Ollie just run slightly wide there. Well, I say slightly wide, you run a bit wide there, just through the tricky sort of turn 5, 6, 7 complex there. So he was on a quick run, currently on fresh soft tyres. Just having a look at Van's racing in the rounds to see, he made one of those feints. Was he going to go into the pits there? He wasn't, but across the line he comes and he goes fractionally quicker, 2/100ths of a second, 128.799 at the present moment. Who else have we got? We've got Martin out, single track, just coming through that 5, 6 and 7 complex there in the McLaren. And in evening,
Hugh Gonny's just improved by, I think, at least a tenth on that. Because his previous fastest, I think, was a 27.5, and he's now done a 27.4.
Yeah, we're just the Monday going evening, gentlemen, in the chat. For those that are watching us on the YouTube stream, the live chat function is there, and for those who are watching after, please add comments.
One of the things as commentators tend to do, the YouTube chat, is obviously when it comes to the official races, is we like to ask from the drivers what the weather is, so we can get a heads up on what could happen and what ideas we can talk about.
Exactly. I think it might stay dry for this one, Carl. It's
predominantly dry when it comes to Bahrain because of where it is. I mean, they don't call it the jewel in the desert for no reason.
Exactly, and that just got me thinking. I can't remember what that what that film was with. I'll come back to it because I'm just going to start talking.
Don't ask me.
I was just going to start talking randomness there.
But yeah, I think Bahrain was nicknamed the jewel in the desert, especially for after the 2014 race, where you literally just had Hamilton and Rosberg trading first and second throughout the entire race. Yeah. And I think that's where the track's been nicknamed the jewel in the desert from that particular point onwards, because that was, in hindsight, one hell of a duel between those two drivers, because neither one of them were going to give an inch.
No, definitely not. Just watching Grimo in the Mercedes, currently 0.6 of a second. Oh no, he's down to, it says now 3.2 seconds down. There's this strange glitch there. It did say he was 0.6 up, so we'll keep an eye on him in that black Mercedes, the Silver Arrows, which are black for the last couple of seasons. It is a race that is run under the lights.
Since 2014,
yes,
I think that is.
Indeed.
It was predominantly in the daytime before it got changed to a night race in 2014.
Exactly. Just keeping an eye on I think was it Ty Clear? Nope, in the pits. A few people now. So everybody has done pretty much a run on the soft tyres, so again it gives the drivers an idea of what they could potentially go to. Perhaps they're saying the mediums aren't going to be quick enough to get them into the top 10, so we just need to keep an eye on that, especially for race day. So we'll keep an eye. We've got a few cars out on track, quite a number in the pits, but a few there that could go quick.
And as you were talking about in, let's say, the first part during the actual practice session, that 30 minutes, because we have more than one practice session, we have one on a Thursday, one on a Friday, and one on a Sunday, the weather and track is not predominantly going to be the same for every single session, I don't think, unless the session is set to clear regardless.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Because I don't know much on that point, because as I was telling you, between the two parts, sometimes I don't tend to do the practice because either I can't make it or I'm watching the highlights on Channel 4 on a Sunday night.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just seeing the gap there. Guy now gone up to second, just 18/100ths of a second behind you, Joni, there. So a really good lap from him, just to keep that. And again, you can see we're really the top three within 1/10 of a second of each other. as we've mentioned. And good to see there, I think it was the other Ferrari there, just getting out of the way of his teammate for the evening, guy in the Ferrari. Good to see drivers being aware of other drivers on track. We do like to see that, obviously, whether it comes to blue flags or just racing indeed. For that. So we've got a couple of minutes left in the qualifying session. As we said, Olafac's there just fastest, 127.1. Which is a superb time from him.
Yeah, it's a massive jump, especially from his medium run earlier. And I think you can learn. It's not really you learn. It's surprising how much you learn from the practice sessions, because depending on who takes part in the session, because it's first come first serve for the practice sessions, we don't have designated practice sessions for each tier. It's actually 3 practice sessions, all for 3 tiers, and it's literally first come first serve, so we get all sorts of people in the practice sessions, so you can't actually guarantee from the order for each tier who is a front runner for certain tiers.
Exactly. And we're just watching Simba here in the McLaren as he comes along the pit straight, getting ready for his fast lap, utilising the ERS deployment down the straight with the DRS wing fully open there. Currently 200 miles an hour, slamming on the brakes there down to around about 50 miles an hour into that tight turn 1. Flooring it as we go through, he'll hit the DRS. So now rear wing opens, gives him a good amount of extra speed, still utilising the ERS there, recharging as he comes down into turn 4. So far, a good lap from him so far, nice and tidy, just 7/100ths of a second down on his best time, which is currently 6th fastest at the moment. So coming now down into turn 8, slams on the brake around about 50 miles an hour. Nice turn in there, doesn't run too wide. The key now will be to keep turns 9 and 10 that he's coming through clean, don't lock up the brakes or anything. That's nice, good rotation on the car, clips the inside of the curb, doesn't run too wide. He could probably run out a little bit wider than that, possibly gain a bit of time as he comes down the back straight now. So slowing it down, good nice rotation there, and we're going to see coming up in the next 10 seconds or so where he is on his current lap. We've got a yellow in sector 1, 4/10ths down unfortunately in sector 2, so unless he can magic something up, it's not going to be a quicker lap for him. But again, he's got some time there that we've seen certainly, so we'll follow him through for the rest of the lap there. Again, misses the curb, the touch-in point slightly for the final corner. He is going to finish it, puts on the DRS, and he goes through 129.0, so 7/10ths down, but still a good lap from him. Just now on board with the Evil Homer car, just 6/100ths down on his fastest lap at the moment. So again, we look at the timings there, and whilst we're now finished qualifying, again, we know that there's a variety of different tiers here, so times aren't always what they seem.
You got like different abilities, and especially those new to our league as well, depending if they're used to with the racing line off, it's a new learning curve for them, so it's like learning the track without the line, so learning where those braking points are. But at the end of the day, I think the braking comes to what you're comfortable with, because obviously you have to put tyre wear into perspective, the fuel load into perspective, so the braking points are ever changing, especially also when you got the ERS activated and the DRS open as well, so the braking points are forever changing throughout the race with the lack of grip, less fuel load, and obviously the ERS and the DRS in activation as well. There's a load of things you have to put into perspective, so it's a learning curve for all those new coming to the league, but us that have been here for whether it's 1 season, 2 seasons, or every season. But you're always learning something. There's always something new to learn.
We've just we were just catching Simba's tail end of the lap, and on the second lap of hot lap, he has went 6th place, and he is tied on the same time as Fanning. I've not seen that in the league, but there it just shows you how close it gets.
I'm just looking at it. Simba is a 28.201. Fanning is a 28.202. So it's literally 1,000. between the two of them.
It just shows you that.
You can't even blink that quick.
No, exactly. So everyone has set their fastest laps. They are all on the soft, so the top 10 will start on the soft tyre. The bottom 10 will have a free tyre choice as we go into the race, and we'll go through the grid just shortly. So we've got Ofach in the Haas, 127.1, pole position. We've got Ujoni in the Alfa Romeo on the front row with him. Second row we have Guy in the Ferrari and Camel Ballboy in the Aston Martin. We've got Gingini and Simba on the third row, Fanning in the Manugio on the fourth row, Evil Homer and Ty Clear on the fifth row. And then in the second half, we've got Ollie Racing is the first who'll get a free choice of tyres. We then have Grimo and the Merc in 12th place. G-Star and Vans Racing 13th and 14th with single track, and Loppy 15th and 16th. Red Car Rambo and Gibb 18th and 19th, and rounding out the grid is Madman Ollie Oliver. Welcome to the league. I think there's some disconnection issues, so his time was his first banker lap, but certainly an interesting race it will be. We have 14 laps coming up of a race for us, which will be exciting as we go down to turn 1. When it comes to the Tier 1, Tier 2 and Tier 3, obviously we have a formation lap before each of the races as well. I think if on practice, I don't think we do have the formation lap, but this will start to give the drivers who are participating an idea of how the conditions will change with a heavy car. Some of those who potentially have raced or done time trial with small fuel loads in the car will now start to see how the cars react and handle differently. It is a medium downforce circuit. You do need that downforce if you go for speed. You will find yourself losing a lot of grip and time. So here we go. We do have a formation lap, so we've kind of gone through the grid. We'll keep an eye on everything, but again,
on that note, I think we need to go back to something, Gav.
Oh, we need to talk about...
I've introduced myself, so just before we do, I think Ballboy's having some connection problems because he's left the session again.
That's not good.
But anyway, I think during this formation lap, you've got time to tell us a bit about yourself.
Carl, I don't like talking, or indeed talking about myself. It's one of the things I just don't do.
You made me talk about myself during the qualifying, so roles are reversed, my dear boy.
They are indeed. So yes, as Carl said, my PSN is Night Shadow SC. Gavin Jenkins, I am of course Scottish. I think I'm one of 2 Scottish people in the league.
Aberdeen.
Oh no, not as far north as that. I was born in the Borders. I was a Borders boy.
Okay.
But yeah, first time I watched F1 probably was around about 1996. It was the first time I really kind of got into it, and kind of been watching it ever since, right through from the domination of the sort of Adrian Newey McLaren, right through then to the millennium of the early noughties with the Ferraris, then into the sort of McLaren Ferrari battles, Red Bull, and then throughout it. So Damon Hill always was mine. I kind of then took a liking for Jenson Button, and then it was really after that I kind of I like the sport for what it is, and it's just, despite periods of dominance, it just keeps coming back. And I think I've been playing F1 games since the very first one came out on the PlayStation 1 many moons ago now, and it shows how old I am.
Back in my day.
Back in my day, yes, exactly, back in my day. But yeah, I joined last season for season 4. Came into Tier 2, and as I said, it was my first league I'd ever raced in, first really online. I'd always played offline, so it was good, and of course made a few errors in the initial couple of races.
And sorry to butt in, and may I say it was a bloody good showing you did.
I try. I let myself down in Canada though, Carl. We won't talk about that. So we're now just waiting for the grid to line up. We have the usual Cameron, the final part has just lined up there, so we will be underway imminently. And we have the red lights. We have 4 red lights. We have 5. And at Bahrain International Circuit, we are go. Great start from Ofach there in the Haas, keeping his lead. Good start from Guy though up on the inside there. So Eugoni on the right hand side, left hand side of your screen there. We can see one of the McLarens coming down, and that's Simba. And I think we have had a bit of contact in the background, unfortunately. We'll keep an eye on that. We
bit
do
of ping
have
pong through the first two corners.
Exactly. So coming down into turn one, we've got the battle there between Eugoni and Guy. Grimo unfortunately has went wide at turn one. We've just I think seen one of the Williams there slightly running wide, but Eugoni keeps that place from Guy. We've got Simba and Gingini, so battling at the moment. So Mark and Rob battling as they come down into turn 8 there. So a good start. Ofach keeping his place. Eugoni and Guy though battling it out. Only 3/10 between them. You can see here now if we go on board with Ofach, we can see just behind there Guy, despite the fact that DRS isn't activated yet, is activated after 2 laps. We can see here he will be eager to escape. Ofach though already built up a 1 second lead. Everyone starting on the softs with the exception of Ollie Racing, who started in 11th. He's up to 8th, and Gibb, he started on mediums as well. So the contra strategy there for those two, so it'll be interesting to see how long they go. We can see there that Fanning in the Red Bull in front of Ollie, just trying to break the toe there. We can see the pit stop predicted strategy there: soft to medium, lap 6 to 9, or soft to hard. It's going to be an interesting one. So you guys, and we can see here that the Red Bull G-Star passing Ollie as we go into turn 1. So the 2 Red Bulls up to 7th and 8th there. And we've got a spinner though. It's G-Star, I think, in the Red Bull he has, and as we said, Ghosting is on the leagues as well to prevent anyone being taken out. We'd say it's been it's not been a dull start to the race.
I have obviously, because it's the first time we've commentated over a practice session, but I have heard in Discord that when it comes to practice sessions, because damage is often that, it does tend to get more hectic than when we have our official races on a Monday and a Wednesday.
That's true.
It's like I think it's a way to let us all learn the track and find out where the limits are, so if we make a mistake we ain't going to pay for it. I know if you're new to the league and you come across that and you find that a bit meh, because a lot of people I wouldn't say people frown upon people using knock damage, damage in that.
Sorry, Carl, just jumping in there. We're just seeing Gingini passing Simba there just on the back straight. Simba did have a bit of a run wide, Mark ran slightly wide, but we can see there that down the back straight, just on board with Gingini, using that right camera angle on board now with the Alpine. But you can see there Mark's pushing him slightly. Very fair racing though, looking out to the right there. Who's going to brake later? Mark just braked slightly later, but you can see there Gingini trying to get the output, and he will live to fight another day. And as we come down the back straight, you can see there instantly putting on the ERS and Gingini through into turn 4, 33%.
Don't you mean DRS there, Gav?
So no, we're not DRS yet. He's ERS, but yes, one of these days.
I think I did see the flap open.
Did the flap open?
Gingini's, yeah, because we're on lap 3 now.
We're on lap 3. Very well spotted. So we're going to keep a close eye on this battle. It is one of the closest battles. It's one of the closest battles that we've got. The other one actually that we're just going to jump to, Loppy and Red Car Rambo fighting there at the moment, but we'll jump back up to that battle. Evil Homer did run slightly wide there, just coming onto the back straight. But again, Rob will be looking to pull out of that 1 second for the DRS, when the DRS detection zone for the pit straight is in the 3rd sector. So those that are on the stream, if you look at the track map to the right, the green dot just there that the leader Ofach is just passing just now, DRS detection zone. As we're coming up to it, it's just under the Rolex bridge here, and Simba 7/10, 8/10 of a second behind, so he will get DRS right slightly deep into the last corner. That is going to compromise his exit. It shouldn't leave him exposed behind, but again we can see how quickly, and the DRS is powerful here, Carl. If you can get it, you can certainly. And he's locked completely. Unfortunately for Mark, ran a little bit probably wider and deeper than he would have wanted to.
As you were saying there, the DRS is quite. There's quite a few tracks where the straight line speed, the ERS and the DRS is very overpowering. Monza comes to mind for first, and obviously I think you would probably fit Zandvoort into that as well, especially after that last bank corner if you get a good run.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that one. Just keeping an eye. So Ollie Racing is the first one on the mediums, so he's up to seventh at the moment. He is 9.5 seconds behind Ofach in the lead. So it's going to be one of those ones that he will run slightly longer than everybody.
What's the average time you lose in the pit lane around Bahrain?
It's about 19 seconds, if I remember rightly.
We've got a spinning Williams, Evil Homer. Luckily, because we have no damage on, he can carry on as normal, which is... I think when it comes to practice, I think the no damage is a real help, because obviously with people getting the setups and that, it does kind of help us get the setup and obviously find out where
the limits are
in that.
Yep, just watching here. So Evil Homer and we're on track with we're on board with single track. Oh, and he came with what would David describe as a bit of a lunge, but I thought he was nearly going to miss his braking point there. But that was certainly a Daniel Ricciardo type move.
I was just about to say he tried a Danny Rick.
He certainly did. But yeah, pit loss 19 seconds. So we're just on board just now with single track, looking at this battle, very close battle between Ollie Racing kind of leading that pack. He's about 3 seconds behind the wider pack, but then we've got Evil Homer there in the Williams and obviously single tracks. So
I think Fanning is spun somewhere in the white coloured Red Bull, because he's dropped down to 12th now.
He has indeed, unfortunately for him. Single track.
Just want to say, with our practice sessions, with this 25% race, would you classify this as our I know it's got a pit stop in the middle of it, but would you classify this as our kind of like sprint race?
I would. Actually, it's a very good shout, and yes, I would count that as our sprint race.
Mind you, in earlier seasons, when it came to practice, we only did a 5-lap race. And I think that was to do with the fact that we only did a 25% race then.
Yep. We've got the leaders into the pits, Ofach and Ujoni and Gai all coming into the pits, so Gingini will continue. So we're just on board with Ofach just now. I think he's putting on the medium tyres, which he is. Single track go through. So again, a couple of different strategies begin to come out here. So all the top 4 of pitted, the top 3, went onto the medium tyres. A couple of other people are going slightly longer, so I would expect to see. And unfortunately, we've got Martin just spun it at turns 1, 2 and 3, so he'll be looking to get back up to speed. But Rob is currently out in front, but likely he will come in, as will Evil Homer. So Ofach is the de facto race leader at the moment, first one to stop, but he's gone onto the medium tyres. No one's went onto the hard tyres yet, so again, will be interesting to see, Carl, if anybody does go for the hard. I think, though, it would be sensible to go onto the mediums.
Well, if from what we're seeing, especially with the 2021 game, especially last season, everyone seems to avoid the hard tyre if they can, because of the difference in grip between the medium and the soft. And what we learned from last season as well, in some tracks, how strong the medium tyre seems to be on this particular version of the game.
Yeah, and just talking about that, I think the softs might be coming to the limit bands race and just running wide. Rob is in the pits in the Alpine. We do have a spinner though. We have Red Car Rambo round in the Alpine, unfortunately, just at the end of sector 2. Ollie Racing inherits the lead. Rob is in the pits, puts on those medium tyres. Ofach coming down the pit straight now, and this is going to be interesting to see who has the advantage as he comes out. We do not see Rob there, so it is as you were, and Gingini coming out of the pits
Rob's
now.
Come out in fifth place,
so he's probably lost a bit of time there by pitting slightly later. Ujoni and Gai here, we're coming down into turn 4, we can see it. DRS helping, and and tight braking. as we go through. Again, very close racing between these two. We can see there on the stream, and Eugene is very reminiscent. Oh, and there's a little bit of contact, just enough to unnerve the guy in the Ferrari. But that was where the likes of Hamilton and Rosberg in 2014 were racing each other. But again, very close between Eugene and default second, essentially, because Ollie Racing hasn't pitted yet. And you and Guy in fourth place, so we'll keep on board with that at the present moment. The only one to still be out on the softs who started on it is Madman Ollie Oliver in 11th.
I think it's the
AI
car, because it's going very slowly, sticking to the actual racing line like glue, and I was just watching Martin actually drive through him, so
right.
He's not in that car.
It's unfortunate for him, and we're just down to the fight for 13th, 14th and 15th at the moment. Actually, and there we go, Madman, obviously with the AI driven, so Fanning gets past him, but we have Grimo and Gibb fighting for 14th and 15th at the present moment in time. Let's just go back up though to Guy and Eugene who are fighting again down into turn one. Eugene defends, and is he going to give it? And there we go.
I just joined it there, and there was they got a bit tight there through. Close. I think it was through turn 2. I think it was. And
we're just seeing G Star just passing Eva Homer there, and it is. Don't get me wrong, you can fight through turn 1, turn 2, but if you touch, and the sensitivity of these cars can be spin you around.
And I just want to add, even though we have no damage on during practice sessions, we still ask everybody to race cleanly. It's the one thing we drill in with this league is safe, clean driving, because it's what we all want. Exactly.
Well, Thatch has reduced the gap to Ollie Racing down from around about 8 seconds down to 6.7 seconds, so those medium tyres on Ollie's car will be...
when O'Fatch inherited second after Genie pitted, the gap was, I think it was around 9.4, and now, like you say, it's made its way down to near enough 6.5 now. So
it's certainly getting there.
As we're talking about it, Ollie has now pitted. And, will he go for the soft tyres? Well, just on board. We'll find out how the alternate strategy works, because Ollie is the only one that's done the alternate strategy. Exactly. Everyone else has gone for the same. Yeah,
just on board with Guy looking back at the moment. Eugene had the DRS. He got close, but not close enough to make a move. Guy trying to break the slipstream there, but Eugene is just too far behind to make a move into turn 4.
But I was just watching Ollie coming out the pits, and him and G-Star were going side by side into turns 1 and turns 2, because of the natural line of coming out the pit lane. You come pretty much straight onto the racing line almost.
Yep, so Ollie's come out about 16 seconds behind O'Fatch in the lead. It's probably too much of a time to make up. We'll keep an eye on Guy and Eugene again just now. It's probably one of the closest battles we have. Eugene down looks like he's going to go up the inside, and he does. Guy kind of gives it back. I think there's an element of, do you fight around about kind of turns 11 and 12 with the knowledge that Guy's going to get the DRS as he comes down the back straight? But I'll tell you, they are not giving an inch.
I have heard of a few people playing mind games when it comes to DRS zones. It's like you go for the overtake, but then you think, no, I'm going to take the DRS. But the problem is around Bahrain, obviously you got the DRS at the start-finish straight, but then you got one following up. So if you overtake on one DRS zone, and then you were still within a second of the car behind is now within a second of the car in front, it's just overtaken.
We're just on board.
Obviously, in some tracks like Canada, it's slightly different, because you do through the DRS activation zone just off the hairpin. And the person who was in DRS zone would still have DRS for the second phase as well, but obviously this is Bahrain, it's different.
Exactly, so just being on board there as you've been watching. Eugene is now past Guy again, so Guy got past him in the straight, on this start finish straight, and Eugene's gone back. Guy looking at feinting a move as we came into turn 8 there, but more of a feint than anything else, so he is certainly going to now stay back. He'll get the DRS as we go into the national straight. for the circuit. So Eugene runs a little bit wide, and that's the problem with turn 9. If you lock up, if your tyres are a little bit worn, you can start to lock up, you lose that traction that's there. So we're going to keep an eye on that. The other close race that we've got, I think we've got a spinner at the turn 1. But the other battle that we're just going to keep an eye on is this battle that we're on. So we've got G-Star in front in the Red Bull, weaving about, a bit like Fernando Alonso, and we've got Evil Homer going up the outside as we go, and we're just looking to the left now on the stream of Evil Homer. Now looking behind, we can see G-Star section.
He's got slightly more grip.
Oh, he's spun it as well. Oh, he's lost it through the 11 and 12, and
if damage was on, that would have been spectacular.
That would have been, and that probably would have been a safety car. But we did talk about it, Carl, in the 30-minute practice, that if you, at that point, if you lift off slightly, you can lose the rear end. So we're on board now with Loppy as we come down the pit straight. G-Star in front. Loppy will get DRS. He is already leaping towards him, doesn't need to use his ERS. We now look to the left, and then G-Star back in. G-Star brakes slightly later. Has to watch as we go through turn 1. Looks to the left, make sure they don't collide. Loppy just taking a bit of defensive action. He knows that he doesn't have to risk it. Gets the DRS now down into turn 4. G-Star will move to the inside to defend his position. Loppy will look to break that bit later, but runs slightly wide, and then G-Star lives to fight another day. Eugene and Gai are still going at it at the front. If you're able to see that one, Carl, and while we stay on board with just Loppy and G-Star.
And obviously that's helping Ofatch stretch his lead, but I have been slowly watching the gap between Simba and Ollie Racing slowly come down, because Ollie Racing is now literally in the DRS zone, obviously with those fresher soft tyres, so he's going to have more grip.
Just on board with him.
And it's like, I've just been slowly watching that gaps come down, not as quickly as I thought it would, but coming down nonetheless.
I think he's got a 3-second penalty, does Ollie, so he needs to make this.
And Ofatch got one moment to go as well, but he's about near enough 5.5 seconds in front.
Just on board. We've got a spinner in section 2 again, and Aston Martin. I think it's Ty Clear that spun round, unfortunately, but we're looking back from the McLaren of Simba, looking at Ollie Racing, who is about to fly past us in that Alpha Tauri on those fresh softs, and it was almost, and we're going to see, he nearly went for it there.
About it.
He did indeed, and Loppy and G-Star are still at it as well. I'll tell you one thing, between Gai and Eugene, who are absolutely just going for it, and are so closely matched. We've got Simba and we've got Ollie Racing there. Rob's kind of in a world of his own, but he's slowly beginning to catch. And actually, Ofatch has gone. He's now down to 4th.
Sorry, Ofatch is, what's happened? I think Ofatch lost it.
He did indeed. Our race leader has spun.
I weren't watching him because he was that far in front. I don't even know where he lost it.
Yeah.
So that puts Eugene, the guy.
Yep, so we're just watching.
And as those two have been literally dropping bombs at each other through every lap, it's going to be quite an interesting one with these last 2 or 3 laps.
2 or 3 laps to go, So Fatch, our default race leader, who was as Carl was saying, was out in front, and we were focusing on those battles in the.
He was practically on a Sunday drive.
He was, as I say, he was doing a Fernando Alonso in the beach chair. But we're currently looking at Genie, so we've got a fight for the lead. We've got Eugene in the Alfa Romeo. We've then got Gai just behind him. So again, that battle's continued. Rob is beginning to slowly come towards that, but he's going to have to watch because he's under pressure now from Ofatch, and Ofatch is going to take him up the inside into turn 1.
Guy slightly outbraked himself into turn 1.
See that there? We've got a Red Bull round at the tail end of the start of the pit straight. It's G-Star, unfortunately, who's gone round there. We're keeping on board again with Ofatch and Genie, and Genie's going to go down the inside into turn 4. Ofatch, is he going to give him room? He does. Genie got a bit of a slap of oversteer there. He's going to try and battle. No, he doesn't. He keeps it there. We've got Gai with a 3-second time penalty there, unfortunately, so track limits there, but he is still fighting on track with Eugene, who ran slightly wide there. So again, Guy's going to get DRS. So we've got a four-way fight essentially for the win at the moment. Top two here, Guy and Ujoni, with Ujoni in the lead, and then O'Fatch in the Aston, in the Haas, and it's a DRS train. And this is what can happen in Bahrain. You can get those DRS trains as you can in the likes of Monza, as you can in Canada. And if you're the one out front,
I can bet you that Ujoni in the front of that queue is abusing that ERS to keep that top speed up as much as he can.
We're just on the stream, so we've got the telemetry enabled. He is down to 7% of ERS at the moment.
Exactly, he is abusing it.
Yeah,
I don't blame him.
Guy just getting a bit squirrely out of the final corner. We're coming on now to the final lap of the race, lap 14 out of 14. Guy absolutely going for it. Is he going to make a lunge into turn one? He is going alongside. And O'Fatch, though, is going to try and make it a three-way move into turn one, and there's a little bit of contact. But Ujoni somehow survives. Gini now coming and taking O'Fatch. But Guy has to go for it. He's got those penalties, though. That's the thing. So if you're Ujoni, you almost say, well, after you, he will know those penalties.
Unless Gini goes past
and he's
him,
Ujoni's back. Guy went slightly wide.
Gini must have lost it.
Yeah, he has, unfortunately.
Off this.
So we're just watching this battle, though, between O'Fatch now, Ujoni. Oh, Guy's gone round. Unfortunately, he's clipped on turn 8. He's clipped the inside, and Ujoni now fighting O'Fatch for the supremacy, as we'll call it, for victory number 1 in the practice session. A bit of mental mind games going there. So we've got Ujoni at the moment. O'Fatch has penalties. He has, let's just double check, he has 3 seconds of time penalties.
In it.
He does indeed. So we're just
Ujoni.
Yeah.
Got the inside.
Do you know what? He did the right thing there, though, Carl.
Because if he kept his foot in it, that could have ended badly, even with damage turned off. That could have ended badly.
Exactly.
His red car's retired from the
has
session.
indeed. I
think he's retired himself. I don't think that's to do with the damage or anything.
So
I bet he's just gave it best.
O'Fatch just coming over the line. He will take the on-track victory, but Ujoni will take the victory by warrant of penalties. And Rob takes third in that Alpine. Ollie Racing, who was kind of closing, but then seemed to drop off a couple of times, has taken 5th in a row. Guy, unfortunately, into 6th. We've got Loppe, who will now take 6th from Guy. Ebel Homer in 8th. Martin will come across the line in 9th. And Ballboy is just coming down the start-finish straight at the present moment in time. He will take that final points position instead, but actually through penalties, Fanning gets promoted. Ty Clear, one of our trial drivers.
I think that 5-second penalty, it's bizarre, but it was for ignoring yellow flags.
So again...
It's a bizarre one getting that, because yes, we had a few yellow flags, but the only way you could possibly get penalties for ignoring yellows is by overtaking somebody on yellows and not giving the place back, which I don't think Bold Boy would ever do that. If he overtook on yellows, my guess is it probably happened while it was the AI in the car.
Yes.
Because I think it was Spa last season, Alex ended up losing connection to the end, and he somehow, strangely, there was no yellow flags, but he got a 5-second for ignoring yellow flags, which made no sense.
Exactly. We've got the podium celebration here. Ujoni takes the victory, the plaudits for the practice race. Which is well deserved. Great battles through the field, though, Carl. We've just seen. We'll see it when the results come up.
Even without the damage on, it just shows you people still want to race fair and clean. Which every time I'm in commentary, I praise every single time, because I'm a stickler for fair, clean driving.
Exactly. So we got Ujoni, who takes the plaudits, Alfa Romeo driver, first in the race. We've got O'Fatch in second, some time penalty of 3 seconds. He did win on track, but he didn't win off track. Gini, Rob takes third, Simba, and then Ollie Racing coming up from 11th, and Loppe coming up from 16th. Great drives from them. We've got Guy in 7th, was there or thereabouts through the whole race, but unfortunately had a spin towards the end. Evo Homer in 8th, Martin in 9th, Fanning in 10th, and then rounding out our trial driver Ty Clear in 11th place. Good start from him. G-Star Snipes 13th, finishes in 12th, had a couple of events on track, and then we get down to like Ballboy in 13th, Vans Racing in 14th, Grimo 15th, Gibb, and then Madman Ollie, and then Red Car and the Minu Geo. So again, really good start to practice for season 5, Carl. Obviously,
it gives you a general idea where everyone is
exactly
in their own right. So it does give you that idea. It doesn't give you an idea exactly when it comes to the actual tiers, because obviously practice is mixed tiers. But it gives you an idea where each driver is in their own
right
area.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for those joining us, thank you. Join us again on Monday evening for Tier 1 and Tier 2. Tier 2 starts at 7 p.m. on Monday evening. Tier 1 is 8:45, and then on Wednesday next week is Tier 3. Carl, thank you very much. I will see you again in the commentary box on Monday evening for Tier 2
you will
at
indeed,
7 o'clock.
I look forward to it.
Perfect. And for those out there, please watch the rest of the YouTube videos and go onto our Discord, have a look, join us, trial for us, and come and race with us or enjoy the banter. But from me, Captain Jenkins, and from my co-commentator Carl, it is goodbye for this evening, and we will see you again on Monday. Good night.
Good night.